It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It's a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Yo, once again, it's on. Back at you one more again. Real Kids TV in the house like kitchen sinks. Now, for you all that's not familiar, understand that I am the self-proclaimed Mr. 30 Minutes or Better, meaning that anytime I drop a story, it's guaranteed to be 30 minutes or better. So if you're on your way to work, you're at work, you don't feel like being there, as we so often don't. You're on your way home from work, you need to laugh, you need to cry. Perhaps you're trying to lay down and take a nap, or you're trying to go to sleep at night, depending on whatever time you're listening to or viewing this video, or you're just in the mood for a good old-fashioned true, keyword being true, penitentiary / life story / life experience. This is the channel for you. If you like your 8 to 12 to 15-minute videos, absolutely nothing wrong with that whatsoever. But at Real Kids TV, it's 30 minutes or better. So with all that being said, with all that wrapped up into one big old nutshell, there is a message. Now, before I get into today's story, y'all jump in the comment section. Let me know where you're chiming in from. I'm in Lexington, Kentucky. Come on, kids. You say that every video. We know you in Lexington. Yeah, but the new people don't. You see what I'm saying? So y'all jump in the comments section and let me know if you're rocking with Real Kids and what city and state you represent, man. Throw your hood is up. You know, I think back, been doing a little reflection, a little reflecting rather. And it's crazy how life happens sometimes, just the twists and turns that actually take place in life. And so many things that turn out to be, I guess, in a sense, negative, if you will, could be avoided. Now you got a situation, two partners of mine, two close partners of mine. And that's what's so wild about it. You got Wild Bill and you got Harlem. Now let me paint this picture for you. Let me give you the backdrop, the backstory. Wild Bill's about 6'4", bald head dude, caramel complexion. He got a big beard, skinny dude, probably weighing in, I don't know, probably about 180. Stays in shape, eats healthy, don't eat no fast food, likes to grow his own food. Not saying that he grows all his food, but he would prefer to unalive the food that he eats himself. Just a real conscious type dude, always reading books, like he loves Bob Marley. He's just one of those type of very, very soft-spoken, intelligent individuals. Now, let's not get it misconstrued. Bill is from the hood. Yeah, he's straight out of the projects. But at the same time, he has matured so much in life to where he's not going to harm a fly. Then you got Harlem. They're about the same height, 6'4", dark skinned bro. It's called Harlem because he's from Harlem, Kentucky. Just made his way to Kentucky years ago playing basketball, and he just remained in Kentucky. Harlem was probably weighing in, I don't know at the time, maybe about 210, 215. So he's a little heavier than Wild Bill. Two of these dudes, man, they were cool, man. Not exactly sure how they met, but they were very cool. Back in the G, Urban Dictionary back in the day, Wild Bill was a rapper. He could flow, man. I'm talking about, man, you could point at something and he's going to freestyle right off the top, man. Hey, man, rap about that stop sign right there, and he's just going to flow right off the top. He has skills, man. Harlem, he felt as though he was a record exec. That's what his goals, back then, that's what he wanted to do. He knew some people in New York, and the two of them ended up linking up. When they linked up, they hit it off. When I say they hit it off, meaning like, okay, Harlem had a little money or whatever. Harlem had been in the streets at that point because he was no longer playing basketball in college. So, Harlem had been in the streets. He had accumulated some bread, some money, some Skrilla, some cornbread and cabbage. You know what I mean? He decided he wanted to put his money behind Wild Bill. He called up to New York, talked to some people. They got a couple demos together. This is back when you did demos. Now I don't even think they do demos anymore. But this was back when they did demos. Sent the demos up to New York or whatever. Right around town, here in Lexington, they were just trying to get his name out there. Somebody bit. When I say somebody bit, meaning, okay, this person knows this person, that person knows that person, and the demo fell into the lap, if you will, of Busta Rhymes. Busta Rhymes, man, I like this kid. I like this kid, son. Contacts, New York, or Harlem, rather. Shout out to New York. Shout out to Harlem. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Rock with me. They want to meet Wild Bill. Come up, stay for about a week, studio sessions, all that. Busta Rhymes is taking care of everything. They go up to New York. When they go up to New York, Wild Bill was somewhat reluctant because he was dealing with some things here, with I believe he was dealing with like his, the mother of his kids. They were back and forth or what have you. And Harlem is older. He's about 5-6 years older. So he's trying to explain to him, like, listen, man, I understand what you're going through here, but this is life changing. Busta Rhymes wants to meet you, man. What do you mean you don't know if you want to go? Busta Rhymes is wanting to meet you. All we got to do is get there. I got it. I'm paying for everything. I got it. Reluctantly, Wild Bill goes up to New York. Originally, they were supposed to stay for a week. They get in the studio. He's flowing. He's killing the tracks or whatever. They tell him, look, son, Busta Rhymes, look, son, they want him to stay for like another 3 weeks, for a month. Everything's cool. Wild Bill still get on the phone arguing with his, not necessarily arguing because he wasn't an argumentative type of individual, but he's just the concerns of the mother of his kids, he's thinking about that. See, the rap thing came easy to him, but that wasn't his passion at the time. His passion, his heart was back at home in Kentucky. It's about 2 weeks. Actually, let's rewind that. They were supposed to stay 2 weeks. Originally a week. Then Busta Rhymes made it 2 weeks. Actually, Busta Rhymes made it a month. So I just totally messed that whole thing up. So I got to go back and loop it. No, I'm not editing any of this out. This is Real Kens TV. I messed up, okay? I messed up. Y'all rock with me. Busta Rhymes wanted him to stay for a month at that point. After he heard him flow or whatever. I can work with this kid. What I meant to say was after about 2 weeks, Wild Bill was ready to go home. Harlem couldn't talk him into staying any longer. He was ready to go home. He goes home, goes back to Kentucky. Doesn't even tell Harlem. He's supposed to show up at a studio session, one particular morning. He don't show up. Yo, where your man's at? Where your man's at, kid? You know what I mean? Where your man's at? He's calling, he's blowing, his phone up or whatever. No answer. Wild Bill done made his way all the way back to Kentucky. Now it's a problem. It's a problem. Why is there a problem? I mean, common sense would tell you. Common knowledge would tell you. First of all, I done put my name out there. Harlem, I done put my name out there. Got you up here. Got you in front of Busta Rhymes. Literally. You making songs for Busta Rhymes. And then you just leave. Go AWOL. Don't say anything to anybody. Don't say you just go back to Kentucky. All the money that I done spent, Busta Rhymes and them is cool, but they not paying for the flight. They not paying for the hotel. They not paying for your food. You ain't getting no per diems. Yeah, you getting a per diem from me. I'm your manager. I'm your record label. I'm your, understandably, Harlem had a serious problem with Wild Bill. It's an old saying, and I say it from time to time. 2 mountains will never meet, but 2 men will. Wild Bill was, I guess, somewhat avoiding Harlem, but the 2 of them ended up crossing paths. It was a problem, man. What's up, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you gonna do me this way? I spent thousands on you, man. We're not even talking about the production, the studio time that I paid for prior to going to New York. I know, man. I know you mad at me, man, but I just, man, I'm just my spiritual, man. I'm just on something different, man. Okay, but you on something different, but give me my $5,000 back that I done put into you. Mind you, this is years ago. $5,000 is a lot of money. Hell, it's a lot of money now. Shit. Rock with me. Shout out to everybody hustling out there, man. On a side note, shout out to everybody hustling. From truck drivers that's dropping them big ass loads off, man. Pause, double pause, triple pause, infinite pause. To the healthcare workers, to the DoorDashers, the Ubers, the Instacarts, the motherfucking security guards, the good ones though, the correctional officers, the police, the firemen, firewomen, just whatever profession, the barbers, the beauticians, people that do the nails, everybody that's hustling. Every day I'm hustling, everybody. You know what I mean? That's doing the Amazon drivers or whatever. Everybody that's doing whatever they got to do to make ends meet out this motherfucker, because it's not easy. It's not easy. The YouTubers, if I missed your profession, I apologize. The plumbers, the construction workers, the laborers, the roofers, you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you all get the gist at this point. Everybody, man. People that's in the fast food restaurants flipping burgers, fries, or whatever. They got to deal with that verbal abuse from idiots that come through the drive-thru and act as though the world owes them something. The waitresses, the waiters, the bartenders, the factory workers, the people that's working in them offices 60 hours a week. Everybody, man. Mad love to you and salute. Definitely salute to you, man. The real estate people, the sales reps, the car salesmen that's working 70 fucking hours a week. Yeah, you making $90,000 a year, $100,000 a year, but they got you working 70 hours a week. Going at 8 o'clock in the morning, might not leave till 10, 11 o'clock at night, depending on whatever time the last deal closes. Man, shout out to everybody. Yes, as a side note, but guess what? We 30 minutes or better, so there's no rush. Respectfully. It's tension in the air. Wow, Bill, like I said, he's laid back. He don't want no problem. He's straight out the projects now. Don't forget that part. But he don't want no problems, man. Harlem got a problem, though. Two of them, they have words or what have you, and they don't work together anymore. At this point, wow, Bill, he has a talent. He has a gift that the Most High has blessed him with, but he's not focused on his gift. He's focused on his home life. Harlem remains bitter. Probably, I don't know, 5-6 months later, let's just say 6 months, somebody breaks into Harlem's spot, steals all his studio equipment. He got some nice studio equipment. Take all his stuff. He feels as though Wild Bill has something to do with it. I don't know why he felt as though Wild Bill, but he was like, he's the only one that knew. He's the only one that knew where my spot was at. He's the only one that I always was like, Harlem, you kind of tripping, man. Now, I don't want to sound biased because I'm from Kentucky and he's from New York. Or I'm from New York. I got 100 clips. I'm from New York. He's from New York, but it don't matter. It didn't have anything to do with it. I'm just like, bro, I don't think he broke into your spot, man. You know what I'm saying? I think you just kind of picking because you, nevertheless, stole all the studio equipment. You know, you in the streets, you ain't no responsible type. You don't got no renter's insurance. You know what I'm saying? You don't have that that's gonna cover anything that's stolen when someone, you know, vandalizes your place or breaks in or what have you. So guess what? It was a total loss. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Keep that rental's insurance. If you're renting, obviously if you got a home, you're gonna have it, you know, homeowners. But keep that rental insurance. It definitely comes in handy. Definitely. Now he has a deeper problem. He already had a problem. Now he has a even a deeper problem with Wild Bill. Some years pass. When I say some years pass, meaning 5-6 years pass. No contact. No, they don't run into each other. Nothing of the sorts. One night, Wild Bill is going to see his female friend, Crystal. She lives in an apartment complex. She's on the 3rd floor. As he's going to the apartment complex, ironically, Harlem is going into the same building. Mind you, these two had beef. Really, again, Wild Bill didn't have beef with Harlem. Harlem had beef with Wild Bill. They're going into the apartment complex together. What's up, man? You know, they dap it up, man. What's happening? They ain't seen each other. You know, Harlem kind of let it go, but in his mind, it's still there. Shit, man, I'm here to see this little female. What you up to, man? What's been up, man? I ain't doing nothing, man. I'm here to see this little female. Oh, damn, man. Same building, same. They both head up to the 2nd floor. They both head up to the 3rd floor. They soon realized that they were going to the same female's apartment door. Hold on, bro, you going here? Yeah, bro, you going there? Yeah, this is my baby's mama. Harlem, this is my baby's mama. Wow, Bill's like, bro, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? He went New York on him. You know what I mean? She comes outside. They knock on the door or whatever. She comes outside. They want to confront her. What is the deal? She's at the door, but she's standing her ground. First of all, why y'all making all this noise in my motherfucking hallway? Second of all, I invited you over here, nigga. Talking about Wild Bill. Third of all, Harlem, why are you even here? I told you we was done. Harlem just randomly showed up. They had a child together. The child was young at the time. But nevertheless, they had a child together. Harlem, I guess he wasn't ready to let go. Now, and he'll tell you all day long she wants him. She just mad because she can't have me. But no, my friend. Some dumb, but not plumb dumb. You wasn't ready to let go. You was mad at the fact that she had moved on from you. They sitting there, they talking or whatever. Harlem suggests, you know what, bro? Let's just both leave. You know what I'm saying? She ain't shit. Let's just both leave. Wild Bill is just kind of, standing there, and Crystal's like, no, you're staying, Wild Bill. You leave. I don't want you here. Harlem didn't like that whatsoever. Wild Bill stays, Harlem leaves. From that point on, the beef was back on. It was up. You know, a lot of times when it's up, man, it kind of gets stuck. Sometimes it might come down. But oftentimes, once it's up, man, once it's on, it's on. Once again, it's on. Okay, this nigga down. First of all, this nigga owes me $5,000. He done broken my shit. This is how Harlem's thinking. He done broken my shit. And this nigga done stole he done hollered at my baby's mama, knowing that him and I was cool. See, in Harlem, man, this is how he talks. In Harlem, man, we don't do that. That's disrespect, man. You'll get unalive for that. But fam, you say you a player. Yeah, but in Harlem, man, this is what we do. But you say you a player. Why you tripping on, I understand you might be hurt a little bit, but you ready to unalive a person because your girl chose him? She clearly said, you're staying, I want you to leave. I don't even know why you here. Clearly. Come to find out, Wild Bill didn't even know at the time that her child was by Harlem. Didn't even have a clue. It's a serious issue now. Serious issue. Subtle threats was made. Innuendos. Who's that peeping in my window? Hey, ain't nobody there. You know, innuendos, like certain things was said, but it was just what's understood doesn't need to be explained. Those type of comments, that part. Wild Bill's out one night. He's at a bar. Not even a partying type. He's at a bar. He comes home. He gets to go into his car. He gets jumped by 3 dudes. They beat him. They beat him pretty bad. ER'd him. Sent him to the ER. You know, they didn't unalive him or anything like that, but they busted him up. In his mind, he had an inclination of what that was about. After all, I've never had beef with nobody. I've never had no problems. A lot of people know me. I'm quiet, laid back, reserved. All of a sudden, I come out of the club and 3 dudes jump on me. Wild Bill, like I said, he got them long arms. Man, he could throw, but I mean, 3 dudes jump on you, you know, and you don't even see it coming or whatever. Pause, double pause. Like, what can you do? A few months elapsed. Heals up. He's good. He's taking the trash out one night. Wild Bill goes to take the trash out. Baby, yeah, baby, I got it. I'll take the trash out. Don't worry about it. At this point, they had moved. Crystal was no longer in the apartment complex. Now, when I say they, basically I should have said she, because Wild Bill didn't live with her, but you know how it is, man. You there every night. Fellas, y'all need to start kicking in on some rent and some bills, too. Don't be at your girl's house every single night, 30 days in a month, and you there 27, and then when the bills come, shit, I don't live with you. No, you do live with her. Kick us some money, man. Kick us some money. Do the right thing. Do what you're supposed to do as a man, respectfully. They living in a house now. She's living in a house. She's taking the trash out, the Herbie or whatever, you know, because you know how the trash comes on a certain day of the week, so you got to put, in Kentucky, we call it the Herbie Kirby. I don't know what you all call it in different states. We call it the Herbie. Whatever you call it, you pushing it out on the edge of the curb or whatever, so in the morning they can come pick it up, whatever. Pow, pow, pow. These loud shots. Crystal hears these loud shots. She runs outside. She sees a car skirting off. Can't see anything. Can't really get a description on the car, the license tags, anything. Looks over to discover that Wild Bill was laying on the ground. He'd been shot in his leg. Immediately calls 911. In prison, any such emergency is called a signal 7. Let's just say she lived on 7th Street. I don't know. I'm just throwing out she didn't live on 7th Street, but let's just signal 7. This is what they would say in the joint. In you know, when you locked up. Signal 7 on unit 7. Signal 7 on unit 7. Well, being that they weren't in the joint. Signal 7, 7th Street. Signal 7 on 7th Street. Signal 7. Shirts coming soon. Signal 7. In all seriousness, police came, ambulance came, fire trucks came, everybody came. Took him to the hospital, ended up being cool, everything was straight. Detectives is questioning him or whatever. Of course, he knows who it is, but he's not no rat. He's not no, you know, he's just... Now, mind you, Wild Bill was a felon. He was a one-time felon for child support. Fell behind on his child support in Kentucky at the time, if you fell $1,000 behind or more, they're going to prosecute you for flagrant non-support. So he ended up getting prosecuted, took a plea deal, copped out to a felony for child support. It's not like he didn't take care of his kids. He just fell on hard times and his child support got behind, but he was still picking his kids up, still interacting, dealing with his kids. But it's all about that bottom dollar, man. That bottom line, rather. It's all about that bottom line. I heard that noise. That's just my seats. Come on, man. Ken's let one. No, it's my seats. Rock the boat, rock the boat, rock the boat. In addition to all the threats that Wild Bill had received, innuendos, and he got jumped, he done got shot, he done. I'm a felon. I know I'm not supposed to possess a firearm, a handgun, or whatever. But guess what, man? Rather be carried by 6. Actually, let's rewind that. I'd rather be judged by 12 opposed to carried by 6. I'm going to do what I got to do to protect me. I'm going to give me some heat. Get some heat. Not to hurt anybody, not to rob anybody, not to harm anybody of any sorts. But I got to do what I got to do, man. Obviously got a problem with this dude, and he's relentless, man. Over his baby's mama. He's making it seem as though it's some street stuff that's, he's putting it in the air that I broke into his house. And man, I ain't never broke into his house, man. That's the narrative that he's creating by a nigga. But really, it's all about Crystal doesn't want him anymore. And you're trying to say, well, you my mans in them. You gonna disrespect me by hollering my baby's mama? Once again, you didn't even know it was your baby's mama. We ain't talked in years. You ain't did nothing but drag my name through the mud. Wild Bill gets him some heat. He's out one night. He's coming home. Wild Bill didn't even drink. He drank a little bit, but like he had certain things that he would drink. I forget exactly what it was called, but he had a certain drink, and that was the only drink he would drink. And he wasn't a drunk at all. He gonna drink 1 or 2 drinks. He's good. He's, smoke a little weed or whatever. Smoke a little reefer. He's on his way home one night. Police officers behind him. Pause. Got a seatbelt on. Got insurance, license, registration. Because they can, from your tags, they can tell all of that. As far as your credentials, if you're supposed to be driving or what have you. After about 5 minutes, they pull him over. The infamous blue and red lights that cut on. Every black man fears. It's late. It's probably 12:30 a.m., 1 o'clock, a.m. Pull him over. Sir, you know why I pulled you over? In his mind, I'm quite sure that I got a pretty good idea why you pulled me over. No, sir, officer. Seatbelt on, everything. Officer said that he was swerving. All due respect, officer, I was not swerving. I was just driving. Gives him his information or whatever. You step out of the vehicle. All due respect, officer, why do I got to step out of the vehicle? I haven't done anything. Step out of the vehicle. Calls back up. So now there's like 4 or 5 cruisers there for a simple traffic stop. Ends up stepping out of the vehicle. They say he looks impaired. They go through the field sobriety test or whatever, he passes it. Flying colors, no problem. Gets back in the car. He's about to drive off. One of the officers says that he notices something. I don't remember exactly what it was. He notices something that didn't look right in the vehicle. Pulled him back out of the vehicle. Once again, you can't search my car. I haven't done anything. I've somehow, some way, they get the dogs or whatever. They end up searching the vehicle. What do they find? The heat. They find the heat. Take him to jail. Felon in possession of a handgun. Kentucky, that carries 1 to 5. But if you're already, actually it carries 5 to 10. A firearm carries 1 to 5. So you can have a shotgun. You can go shoot deer and you can go hunt and all of that shit. That's a firearm. 1 to 5. But if you got a Glock, if you got something, 5 to 10. If you're a felon. If you're not a felon, it's just a fine. Look at the discrepancies in time. If you're not a felon and you get caught with a handgun, it's just a fine. But if you're a felon, it carries 5 to 10. He was a felon for child support. They have a thing in Kentucky called the PFO, persistent felony offender. It's just an enhancement. It was originally designed for violent offenders or people that grape people, young ladies. But they use it for everything now. It's an enhancement. Second felony. So he was facing 5 to 10, but once you add the sentence enhancement, now it goes from 10 to 20. 10 to 20. And y'all wonder why I say locking people up is a motherfucking business, man. 10 to 20. Not bothering anybody, not nothing. He's facing 10 to 20. Goes to jail. Sits in jail for about a month or so. They end up getting him out. $5,000 bond. Kentucky, there's no bail bondsman. There's no 10% automatically. If your bond is $5,000, your bond is $5,000. Your bond is $50,000, $50,000. Now, a judge can reduce it, but it's up to the judge. A lot of other states and jurisdictions or what have you, if your bond is $50,000, it's automatically 10% at $5,000. Not here. Not here. It's a Commonwealth state. It's only, 3 other Commonwealth states, I believe. Commonwealth states, man. Commonwealth, a lot of times people think, Kens, what do you mean by Commonwealth? Commonwealth means they govern their own law. They make their own rules. They make their own laws. They can make up laws literally as they go along. If somebody wants to drop the charges against you, if they file a charge against you and they later decide to drop them, guess what? The Commonwealth is going to step in and pick those charges up, and the statements that the individual made towards you, they're going to use against you. They got to keep them beds filled, man. Private prisons, big money, $1 billion industry. Got to keep people incarcerated, man. I'm not saying that certain people don't need to be incarcerated, but there's a lot of people that are in prison. Trust me, I know. A lot of people in prison that shouldn't be in prison. Not asking you all to have sympathy or just have some sort of, and I'm creating understanding to let you all know because a lot of people don't know. If I go in Walmart and I see, which I don't, but I'm just using it as an example. I go in Walmart and I steal $500 worth of merchandise. That's wrong. That's wrong. Lock me up, make me go to the county jail, do 6 months. Every time I get caught, give me 6 months, 3 months, a year, whatever. But to give me a felony and then enhance it to 15 years because it was my 3rd time, come on, man. That's ridiculous. But it's a system. It's a business. A lot of people will never understand it until their people have to experience it. It's just getting deep. Wild Bill's out on bond. But he still has this situation going on with Harlem. They done took my protection. They done took everything away from me. So what am I supposed to do now? They done jump me. They done try to unalive me. What am I supposed to do? Wild Bill gets him another one. Rather get, in his eyes, I'd rather get caught with it than without it. You run up on no limit, you better be bout it. I never tuck my tank in food. I'm never running. I don't care if it's me against a motherfucking 100. That was his mentality. He's just determined to be more careful this time. Not getting caught slipping again. He's going back and forth to court. His lawyers telling him, listen, man, you already got this backup time. Backup time means, okay, you had, for the time that you had for your child support, which was, I believe, 2 years, meaning that he was on probation for 5 years. If he messed that up, you got to go back and do 2 years for child support now. You're facing 20 years, 10 to 20 on his gun charge. Then came all the way down to 5. They're offering you 5 on the gun charge to run wild, consecutive, with the 2 years that you have for the child support, for a total of 7 years. You see the parole board in 20% of your time, which is, what, 17 months? A little bit over a year. You see the parole board. Now I'm going to trial. I highly advise you not to go to trial, Mr. Wild Bill. Why not? I'm going to get on the stands and explain to the jury why I had this gun for my protection. His attorney's telling him, I understand that, Wild Bill, but what you have to understand, Mr. Wild Bill, rather, what you have to understand is that the law is the law when we're in a Commonwealth state. Possession is 9/10 of the law. You had this, handgun on you, in your persons. Yeah, but he never should have pulled me over. So they have a evidentiary hearing / suppression hearing, basically challenging the stop. They lose. Most of the time, you're going to lose. Every once in a while, I see somebody win a suppression hearing, but most of the time, you're going to lose. You still want to take this to trial? Like, they're going to hammer you, man. You know what I'm saying? Wild Bill was determined. He's going to trial. Nah, man, God's telling me don't take a plea deal, man. God's telling me to take this to trial. No, I don't think God's telling you that, bro. I don't think God is telling you that, because at the end of the day, you can convince the jury all you want, but you are a felon in possession of a handgun. It's illegal. I talked to him, bro. I ain't trying to get in your business, but man, act as though you're gonna take it to trial. Go all the way up to the, the day of trial. And what's the best deal you can get? If they offering you a year, 2 years, take that shit, man. Because you go to trial, man, they're gonna knock your head off. Then they're gonna come back with the sentence enhancement. He kept screaming that, God's telling him to go to trial. God's telling him to go to trial. He goes to trial. They come back, knock his head off. 15 years, man. 15 years. So now you got to do 3 years before you even have an opportunity to see the parole board, when they ended up offering you a total of 3 years. I hated to see that for bro. He did all that time, man. He did the 3 years just to see the parole board, and then they gave him, ended up doing 5 years on that charge, and still had to come back out to parole. I think it's messed up if you're a felon. There's a lot of things that as a felon, you're not even, for one thing, if you're on probation or parole, let me break this down for you all that don't know. If you're on probation or parole, you can't get a passport. Now, you can get a passport once you're out of the system. If you so many thousands behind on child support, you can't get a passport. Obviously, you can't get gun rights. You know that if you're on probation or parole, you can't get life insurance. Now, come on, kids. You cannot get life insurance if you're on probation or parole. A lot of places you try to live at, apartments, they're not going to rent to you. The background check. You have good credit, which most don't, but I'm just saying, If you did by chance, they're not gonna rent to you. A lot of trades, a lot of things that you can't do. Yeah, you can work in somebody's factory. You work somebody's fast food. You can work on somebody's construction site. Somebody's car lot work, slaving 12, 13 hours a day. I'm not knocking any of those professions. I'm just giving you all the general, you know what I mean? Giving you the game. Very selective as far as careers that you have. You can start your own business. To me, it's what one should do anyway, but it's easier said than done. Very difficult being a felon. Because you can be a great person that made some mistakes, but yet you did this. Our president's a felon. That's ironic. And he can do whatever. He can be around guns. You're a felon. You're not even supposed to be around an individual. So if you don't have a gun, but this person has a gun, you're not even supposed to be around this person. It's the life we live. 5 years that he ended up doing. And what's so crazy, he came home, was doing the right thing, had to be on parole for, 5 years. And I don't know exactly what happened. He hadn't paid his child support off yet. So they weren't trying to take him off parole. Basically, they were saying, until you get caught up with this child support, you will forever be on parole. So if you owe $60,000, $50,000, $40,000, $20,000, however long it takes for you to pay that off is how long you're going to be on parole. I guess he got sick and tired of it. I don't know. He stopped reporting to his PO. He went on a run. Ends up going on a run. And eventually, I think he ended up catching another case while he was on the run. And ended up getting more time on top of the 15 years that he already had. As far as Harlem done been out, 15 years, never returned. Still loving these women, acting as though he don't. But I know the truth. Sad situation, man. Guys that were initially friends, look what it eventually led to. I would advise anybody that has a problem with somebody, man, talk that shit out, man. Try to talk it out, man. Now, I understand sometimes it's not that easy because people have egos, they have pride, and then, you may be wanting to talk and that person doesn't want to talk. But at least attempt to, man, because you don't want it to go to the next level to where, there's gunplay and people getting hurt and injured and potentially unalived and prison time and felonies, and you don't want it because it's not really that deep. Come to find out, which I already knew anyway, Wild Bill never broke into his house. It had nothing to do with that whole scenario. But see, it was deeper than that. It was all about Crystal not wanting him anymore. And he can tell me all day long because I've told him. If he watches this video, he just watches it. I've told him all along. You was just mad because she didn't want you any longer. And you got mad at Wild Bill because she chose him. Don't get mad at him. She chose him, man. It is what it is, man. Real Kens TV. Hopefully you like the video. Feel free to comment. Definitely share. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subscribed. Be sure to hit that post notification. So anytime I bring you this action and this heat, guess what? You're amongst the first to receive, man. Real Kens TV.